Minecraft plugins are absolutely incredible, and I love covering them here on the channel. I do this in dedicated videos and also during live streams, but sometimes I stumble upon Minecraft plugins that are fun and very cool, but they don't really include enough content for a full, dedicated 10-minute video. So I usually save up these incredible plugins to then all throw them together in one list and present them to you guys. Welcome to 5 fun and cool Minecraft plugins 4.0. Before we start, do make sure to double check if you're actually subbed to the channel. The vast majority of my daily viewers are still not. Even though you may think you are, you may not actually be in reality. So do make sure to double check. I would appreciate that so extremely much. And the first plugin on today's list is one named Dragon Egg Tracker. And this is a plugin that completely revamps the dragon egg to turn it into something actually useful. So this plugin does a few different things. First of all, as soon as I pick up the dragon egg, you can see that a notification appears in chat. Kasai has claimed the dragon egg. The entire server is now aware of this fact. I am officially the dragon egg owner. But it doesn't end there. The dragon egg is also actively buffing me. You can see I have more hearts than normal. 4 entire hearts extra. That's pretty cool. And when I open my inventory, you can see that I also have fire resistance and strength too. In other words, me having this dragon egg in my inventory provides me with a bunch of buffs, making it something you would want. But you may wonder, what if you don't have the dragon egg and you want to get it, and it has already been claimed? Well, that is what this recipe laid out in my inventory is for. Here we got a dragon's breath potion, together with some eyes of ender, and in the middle a compass. When we put all of these inside of a crafting table, you can see that the result is a dragon egg tracker. A compass that always points towards the dragon egg, no matter where it is. If it is on the ground, it will track, but also if it is inside of a player's inventory, it will track as well. So we can make this compass, and now when I just go ahead and place the dragon egg somewhere, for example here, you can see immediately that the compass is pointing towards it. This is a dragon egg tracker, and it will now track me to the dragon egg. It will tell me exactly where it is, and there are no other players on this server, but if there would be another player on this server and they would have this egg, then this compass would point towards them. On one side, it is a really nice thing to have the dragon egg because it actively buffs you, but it also means that everyone on the server is able to track you and potentially take you down. It basically turns the dragon egg into a whole new minigame on your server. There can now be a constant hunt, where players are trying to get the egg so that they get the buffs, and others are trying to chase it down to get the buffs as well, and also the achievement. So very cool plugin, I would say. Do check it out if you're interested. Okay. Now the next plugin on today's list is Lodestone Link, and it is essentially a plugin that allows you to place numerous waystones inside of your world, which you can teleport to using a special compass. So the way it works is pretty simple. First, we're simply gonna place a compass in the center of a crafting table and surrounding it with diamonds. This is gonna give us a teleport compass. Now after we have obtained this teleport compass, we need to get ourselves some lodestone, because that is what this plugin uses as waypoints. So let's grab 2 lodestones and let's place one over here. Then now, when I hold the teleport compass and I left click on the lodestone, the location will now be saved. Which means if we right click the compass while not looking at the lodestone, that location will now show up over here. There it is, lodestone in world, and it shows exactly where that location is. So if I now click on this button, I will be teleported to that lodestone. There it is. So I can now just go anywhere in the world, and then as soon as I want to return back to that lodestone, we simply right click. After that we select the lodestone, and there it is. Simple as that. Now if we grab an anvil and we then go in there and we rename the lodestone to something else, for example subscribe, because you definitely should, and I would appreciate it so much. Then now we get a lodestone with the name subscribe, and when I now go and place down this this lodestone, for example, over here, and I now left click this lodestone with the compass, just like that, then you can see inside of the menu that this lodestone shows up with the name subscribe. So this way you can name them in pure vanilla Minecraft to easily differentiate certain locations from each other. Now personally, I think this is a very cool plugin, and it is really easy to use in vanilla Minecraft. It's a nice alternative to all of those teleportation plugins out there. Also, good to mention, the crafting recipe of the teleport compass can be completely customized. So if you feel like just a compass and some diamonds is way too much of a low bar to get these features, you can make the crafting recipe harder, making it so players can only get a teleport compass later in the game. Cool plugin, I would say. Do check it out if you're interested. Now next up, we got a really cool plugin that encourages engagement on your server. It is named SMP Events, also known simply as SMPE. And it is a plugin that starts random events on your server where players have to complete a certain goal, and the player that does it the quickest, they will win. Now what kind of challenges are these? Well, there's one to get a specific advancement as quickly as possible. There's one to go to a certain biome. There's one to get an effect, or pick up an item, or kill a certain mob, or place a specific block in a specific position somewhere in the world, stuff like that. Now by default, when events start is completely random. You can customize in the config how often such a random event can happen, but it is still random. So here we got my lovely alt bread shop ready for a challenge. And we can now simply wait for a challenge to start, or I can just manually start one by typing SMPE, and after that, start. We press on enter, and there we go. An event is starting in 2 minutes. Now next to this announcement, there's gonna be a join button. When you click on here, you will officially take part in the event. Some text will appear that says that I still gotta wait for about 1 minute and 30 seconds. And you can also see how many players are participating. Now I've just joined with Bread Shop as well, and after waiting for a bit, the event has now officially started. Now what kind of event you get is completely random. In this case, it wants us to enter a biome, but not just any biome, a small ant island. Well, I've never been to the end in this world, and neither has Bread Shop, so we're not gonna be able to do this one. What you can then do is type /SMPE vote skip. If it is a challenge that's simply too hard to do for everyone in the server, you can do a vote to skip this particular challenge. It immediately stopped because I am 50% of the server. So if I decide I don't want to do this challenge, then there is no challenge left and it will immediately stop. Now we can just start a new one, and this time it wants us to enter a deep dark biome. Okay, game. Well, that's possible. To the deep dark we go. And there it is. Okay, I've very legitimately entered a deep dark biome. Yes, I've completed the challenge. It seems like it is also randomly decided to do another one. That's great. It is actually a fun example. This is an event where you have to pay a fee to participate. So this one specifically, I need 1 lapis lazuli to actually join. If I don't have a lapis lazuli, I'm not able to get in. So when I click on join, it will simply give me an error, and it will say this event requires 1 lapis lazuli to join, which I don't have. But the challenge has been completed. I am officially better than Bread Shop. And I totally didn't win because I had OP on the server, obviously. But I think you can see how this can be a very cool and engaging plugin on your Minecraft server. So definitely give it a try for yourself. Now the second to last plugin on today's list is none other than What Is That? Now What Is That is a Minecraft plugin that tells you what you're looking at. In some ways it is quite similar to the mod Jade. The thing about What Is That though is that it is not a mod, meaning it only has to be installed on the server side. So when I go and look, for example, at this snow, you will immediately get a bunch of information shown in the boss bar. It will here tell you the name of what you're looking at, what tool you need to break it as efficiently as possible. So in this case that will be a shovel, and then the boss bar itself will actually show you how far along you are when it comes to breaking it. So when I go and carefully break this snow, you can see that the bar goes down because it is showing breaking progress. It just shows how far along we actually are. Now when I go and look at this grass block, it's the exact same situation. It just shows how well we're doing. But when we, for example, go to a tree and we look at that, you can see it showcases the name, but now it will suggest you to use an axe to actually break it. And of course, it will also show the progress. Very cool stuff. Now, if you don't really like having a boss bar, you can change it up to show inside of the action bar instead. So when we type /width type and then action bar, width standing for what is that, it will disable the boss bar and enable the action bar. There it is. It essentially shows the same information, so the tool you need, the name of the block, and also the progress. You can see the bar goes down, and when you type /width progress, you're able to choose how progress is shown. So by default, it is shown in bars, and you will see the bars go down as the block becomes more and more destroyed. But we can, for example, also change it to %. And if we do that, it shows percentages. So if you now go and break some wood, it will show how far along it is, but now in %. We can also change it to underline, and this will literally show a line that just goes down. Basically just like in the boss bar, but now it will just be down in the action bar. So I personally think this plugin is awesome. It's great that you can customize it so it shows up exactly where you want it to. And because it is a plugin, it doesn't require anything client-side. The server owner can just decide to install it, and players that want to use it can just use it. And players that don't can just use /width toggle to just toggle the entire plugin off for them. And then the last plugin we're gonna take a look at today is none other than Lag Map. Now, Lag Map is an incredibly cool plugin that will generate a map that shows exactly where your Minecraft server is lagging. So the way it works is pretty simple. First, you want to install the Minecraft plugin, then hop into the config, and here you want to change the web port to a second allocation your Minecraft server has available. After that, inside of your browser, you want to enter your server's IP alongside that second port, and this will then bring you to the Lag Map. Now, it may take a while, but eventually Lag Map is gonna start showing a map of your world. It will also show a player's location. It is not exactly real time, but close enough. But most importantly, this map will show where your world is lagging. So the map just reloaded itself, and you can see that certain parts of this map are a lot more red than others. Now, the way it works is simple. More red equals more lag. So all of these fields, which you see here, that consist out of 16 chunks, the more red they are, the more lag is occurring in that area. Now, lag can of course have a bunch of causes, but in this case we're mostly talking about lag due to entities or maybe certain redstone systems. If they're causing lag, then that will show up here. Now, there's also a little number that shows. Just like the redness, it is basically the higher the number, the more lag. So this field where I'm in, it only has number 6. Because of that, it's not very red, and there's just not a lot of lag here. All of these here, a lot more red, the numbers are a lot higher. Now, obviously, there is something we can do to change this. Because what if we just spawn in a bunch of sheep? Just because we can. There we go. There can be sheep here as well. Just spawning in sheep everywhere because, of course. Okay, I think that will be enough. Looking great. When we now go back to the lag map, you can see that the numbers here are spiking like crazy. Currently, it shows 160, the highest number we've seen so far, and it is showing up deep red. But yeah, this way you can see exactly where the server is lagging and roughly in which area. You can see when I'm hovering with my mouse, it will actually show the coordinates at the top of the map. So it's going to be very easy to narrow down where the lag is coming from, teleport to it, and then figure out what's going on and potentially solve it if it is server breaking. So again, a very cool plugin, especially if you have a big server with a bunch of players and your server does lag often, but you don't know where it's coming from. This plugin can help you figure that out. And with all of that being said, that's gonna be it for today. Do make sure to subscribe to the channel, join my Discord. Thank you so much, channel members. And then I will see you in the next one. Bye bye. See you later. Bye bye.